know more about a string of early Wednesday morning car break-ins in Hannibal.
And around the same time, several more car break-ins were reported in Quincy. WGEM's Dylan Smith spoke with police. And Dylan, do they believe these are all related?
Well, Daniel and Mackenzie, Hannibal police officials say they've been in contact with QPD, but nothing has been confirmed. Lieutenant Jennifer Grody says they're investigating between 15 and 20 break-ins in the Lake Apollo Drive area. She says there's no damage to any of the cars, so some of the break-ins happened because the doors were left unlocked. So incident by opportunity.
We ran a campaign about a decade ago, roughly, lock it or lose it, and it still stands today. It seems every few years we'll have a group of kids or teens, sometimes young adults, early 20s, that will go through and rifle through cars and steal whatever they can find.
Grody says they've received surveillance video and they're looking for 3 or 4 different suspects. Quincy Deputy Chief Mike Tyler confirmed the Quincy break-ins were on St. Charles Drive. Daniel?
All right, thank you, Dylan. And if you have more information, Grody says to contact the Hannibal Police Department. In the meantime, don't leave your valuables in your car.